Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We start out this hour with a show that has become a favorite to many of you. Jean Hersholdt starring in Dr. Christian. This episode from February 14th, 1940 is entitled My True Valentine.
From Hollywood, California, we present Jean Hersholdt in a new Dr. Christian story called My True Valentine. There's the overture music, and the curtain is about to rise on our Dr. Christian play, My True Valentine, which stars Jean Hersholdt as the popular Dr. Christian of River's End, supported by Rosemary DeCamp in the role of his secretary, Judy Price, Gloria Holden as Emily Cobb, Elliot Lewis as Don Burns, the boy to whom she was engaged, and Leo Cleary as Bill Brown, the sheriff. The story begins on a day in early February 1925, when Emily was the village seamstress engaged to wild Don Burns. Emily lived in the brown cottage directly back of Dr. Christian's house, and her little lean-to greenhouse was a gay and colorful place, even in February snows. As the scene opens, Emily is happily working among her flowers. She looks up in surprise as Don Burns enters.
Why, Don, what are you doing away from the shop at this time of day?
Why, I left early.
You're not sick, are you?
No, I was just sort of tired, and work was pretty slack, so I quit.
Don, what's the matter? Has something happened?
Yeah, something's happened.
Something bad?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Don, you haven't been with the Hawley gang again, have you?
I promised you, didn't I?
Yes, but you're worried about something. What is it?
Emily, listen, honey. Bill Brown's likely to come over here in a little while.
Bill Brown? You mean the sheriff?
Yeah.
What's he coming here for?
Sandy's got himself in a jam. We've got to help him out.
Sandy's always in a jam. You're his older brother, Don. You ought to make him behave. That crowd he goes around with. Why, he'll be in real trouble one of these days.
Yeah. I'm afraid he's in real trouble right now.
What has he done?
He was with Hawley and some of the boys when they pulled a job over at North Ridge last night.
Oh.
The watchman walked in on him, and one of them threw a flashlight right across Sandy's face. Sandy was sure the man got a good look at him. If he did...
Where is Sandy now?
I told him to hop a train west and stay there till the thing blew over. That we'd swear he'd been out of town more than a week. You gotta help me, Emily.
I don't see why you
There's
always...
just one reason.
What?
Ma.
Yes, I suppose so. How was she today?
About the same. Dr. Christian says it won't be long now. We can tell her Sandy got a job driving a truck to Chicago or something. Ma don't care about nothing in the world but Sandy. Emily, you know that.
Yes, and it's not fair when you've always been good to her and
It don't matter. That's the way it is. Promise me you won't ever give Sandy away, Emily.
Well, all right.
Swear it.
I swear. Somebody's coming in the gate.
Is it the sheriff?
I can't see. Wait. No, it's Dr. Christian. Oh, hello, Dr. Christian. Come on in.
I just came to have a look at your greenhouse and maybe get a flower for my buttonhole. Oh, hello, Don. Aren't you working?
Let me see what color you should have to go with that brown suit, Dr. Christian. I think this yellow one would be right for you.
Ah, beautiful, Emily. Your plants look fine out here. You certainly make an attractive place out of this little house. Just when is the wedding day?
Next Thursday. That's Valentine's Day. True Lover's Day. You're coming, aren't you, Dr. Christian?
Of course. Well, I've got to go. I've still got my calls to make. Oh, you're going to have company, Emily. There's somebody at the gate.
Who is it?
It's Bill Brown and another man. Hello, Bill. Come on in and get a flower for your buttonhole.
Hello, Dr. Christian. Howdy, Miss Cobb. Howdy, Don.
Say, what are you looking so solemn about this fine February day?
I feel solemn.
What's wrong?
This is Sam Wells, watchman at the machine works at Northridge, and on a very unpleasant errand, Doc.
Looking for somebody?
Yes.
Who is it, Bill?
Well, there was a robbery at the machine works last night. Somebody tried to crack the safe. Sam here and his partner Joe Sims surprised the gang at work.
A robbery? Did they get much?
No, got scared off. Don, where's your brother Sandy?
Sandy? Oh, he's out of town, Sheriff. Been out of town for a week or more. Got a job in Chicago.
That story don't go, Don.
It's a fact, Sheriff. Ask Emily. She said goodbye to him a week ago last Monday.
Is that so, Miss Cobb? Isn't Sandy in River's End?
Why, yes. Yes, that's a fact, of course. Sandy's gone.
You'd swear that's true?
Of course we'd swear to it. Why not?
You don't want to be making any mistake.
Look here, Bill. What's this all about?
If Sandy's really been gone for a week, Dr. Christian, I reckon Don knows what it's about.
What do you mean?
Joe Sims, the other watchman, got a good look at one of the men. He swore it was one of you Burns boys. Like lots of folks, he couldn't tell you apart. Where were you last night, Don?
I worked late and slept at the shop. Ma's sick, and I didn't want to wake her.
That's right. Don's mother's very ill.
Anybody with you last night, Don?
No?
Anybody see you there?
Not that I know of.
Well, you'd have to come along with me.
Oh, no.
Don had nothing to do with this, Sheriff. I'm positive he didn't.
What makes you so sure, Doc? Don Burns used to be a pretty tough boy.
Not since he and Emily have been engaged. You are making a mistake.
Well, if I am, it's too bad. But I got it to do just the same.
Sheriff Brown, please.
It'll be all right, Emily. After I talk to Joe Sims, he'll know he's mistaken, that he didn't see me or Sandy either.
You can't talk to Joe Sims, Don.
Oh, but Sheriff, certainly it's Don's right to talk to him.
Right hasn't anything to do with it, Doc. They plugged Joe when they knew he'd recognize them.
You mean he's dead?
Yep, Joe Sims is dead, and one of the Burns boys was in the gang that fired the shot that killed him. Don Burns, you're not only charged with robbery, you're under arrest for murder.
I'll bet this is more of a county jail than you ever saw before in your life, Dr. Christian. It's been mighty decent of you to come and visit me this way. I sure appreciate it. I'm going to miss you after tomorrow.
I'll miss you, Don, till I see you again.
By the time I get out, I won't be anybody who'll want to remember you than you.
That'll depend on you. Don, Emily insists on seeing you before you go.
Didn't you tell her what I said? That I wasn't going to see her ever again?
Yes, I told her. She's been in every day during the trial begging me to bring her home. I think you better talk to her, Don.
I haven't got anything to say. Make her see it's all over, Doc, that she's got to forget me.
Women like Emily don't forget easily.
She will. Now she knows I'm no good. Why didn't my own mother, almost a day before she died, get up in court and tell how I'd always been the bad one? How Sandy had never done a wrong thing in his life?
Yes.
Well, then one of the Burns boys did it, and it must have been me. You haven't seen Sandy coming back to confess, have you? Ma dies happy, knowing that I always was a bad egg, but that Sandy's all right. And I get just what's coming to me. 10 years in the cooler.
And Emily?
She'll get over it, Doc. She's got to get over it.
Don, I wanted to see Emily. Just once.
No.
She's right outside, waiting.
She can't come in. I don't want to see her.
But she wants to see you. You owe her that much, Don.
But I have nothing.
Only for a moment. Ask Miss Cobb to come in, will you, officer?
Doc, I won't be alone with you. You got to stay with me, Dr. Christian.
Don, I don't know what to say to you. Are you sure you're right in what you're doing?
What do you mean? You know the truth about me?
Yes, Don. I know the truth.
Don.
Yeah?
Don, I had to come.
You better go again. Jail's no place for a girl like you.
My place is wherever you are, Don.
No, that isn't so, Emily. Not anymore. I lost my chance. I'm no good.
Don, listen. I don't believe there's any of it. It's all crazy, not telling about Sandy, trying to make even me think you're guilty. But I know you didn't do anything wrong, and that's all I care about. I love you, and if it's 10 years, or 50 years, or forever, I'll still be waiting for you, Don. Oh.
She's just being sentimental, Doc. She'll get over it.
Don,
let's not talk about it, Doc. I made up my mind. I've got to go through with it.
February 14th, 1940, Dr. Christian on Classic Radio Theater.
Oh, come on, I hate you. You have no right to speak to me. You're stupid, you're evil. You believe in your God, guns, and gold. You shouldn't have the right to vote. We must fix this disgusting country now. We want socialism now.
Whoa there, little fella. Our U.S. Constitution protects your right to say these things, even if they are drivel.
Our founders believed in our inalienable rights granted by God, not some mafia. Our Bill of Rights protects your personal freedoms, your absolute right to speak to others, whether loving and kind or hateful and stupid.
Utopia doesn't exist. It only destroys. Millions of innocents slaughtered by the communists in Cambodia, China, and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
And millions of people were gassed by Hitler's National Socialist Party.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore our American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com. That's SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
You'd better sneak in the back way. Dr. Christian, you're late.
Oh, I know it, Judy. I wasn't sure I'd get back for office hours at all. Hey, unpack my bag while I wash, will you?
All right.
What do you think Mrs. Smith got for Valentine?
What?
Twins.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Are there many people waiting?
Well, most of them said they'd come back this evening, but guess who's out there?
You'd better tell me, Judy. I'm too tired for parcels.
All right. It's Emily Cobb.
Emily Cobb?
Uh-huh. She's home from Chicago for a quick visit.
Well, I haven't seen her for... Well, how long is it, Judy?
15 years.
How does she look?
Oh, simply stunning. You'd never know her for the same girl she used to be. Wait till you see the dress she's wearing.
I hear she's been very successful in her work.
Oh, I should say she has. All the society gals in Chicago get their things from the Mrs. Cobb.
What's she back for, did she say?
No, but she's been waiting hours to see you. Shall I bring her in?
Oh, yes, right away.
Come in, Miss Cobb. Dr. Christian will see you now.
Thank you, Judy.
Emily, this is a surprise. I'm glad to see you.
Oh, I'm glad to see you, too. You haven't changed a bit.
Well, you have. You're looking splendid, Emily. Things have evidently been going well with you in Chicago.
Very well indeed. The village dressmaker turned into a designer. My sister and I have a business of our own now, and we've been pretty lucky.
That's fine, Emily. So you're back to show the hometown what our Robbers End girls can do.
Oh, far from it. Nobody even knows I'm here except Judy. I really came back to make up my mind about something, and I need you to help me.
Well, I'll help if I can. What is your problem?
Dr. Christian, there's a man in Chicago who wants to marry me.
He shows good sense, if you ask me. Do you like him?
Oh, he's a fine man, in every way. Kind, considerate.
Then you don't like him. What's the matter with him?
Oh, not a thing in the world. He's successful, a suitable age, considered a great catch.
But you're just not in love with him, is that it?
That's just about it. My sister thinks I'm a perfect fool to hesitate even for a moment.
Well, does he know how you feel? I mean, does he know that you're not really in love with him?
Yes, I told him about Don. And he's still willing to take a chance. He thinks I'll grow to love him.
Well, if he's thoroughly congenial or that you admire in a man, you probably will.
I suppose so. Haven't you ever heard from Don?
No, not a word since he was discharged.
Dr. Christian, do you really still think he loved me, in spite of everything he did?
I'm sure he did, Emily. But I never had any confidence that he would come back.
I know you didn't.
You waited faithfully for a long while, Emily. You proved your devotion over and over again. Now I think it's time you found some happiness for yourself.
You've given up hope, haven't you?
Well, I don't like to think of the empty, wasted years for you.
You're probably right. And that's why I came, and you've given me my answer.
What do you mean?
I'm going to sell my house, Dr. Christian, and I'm going to marry the man in Chicago.
I'm sure you're wise, Emily. You'll have security and peace.
Yes, I will. It's only in books that people wait forever, isn't it? I think I'd like you to go over to my house now just for a little while to say goodbye.
I'm afraid it'll be cold over there. The house has been closed so long.
No matter, I'll keep my coat on. May I slip out of the back door, Dr. Christian, the way I used to?
Of course. Are you going to stay in town and visit your old friends, Emily?
No. I just wanted to come today, Valentine's Day. It was to have been my wedding day. Remember? Well, now that I've made up my mind, I think I'd like to go back to Chicago right away on the night train. Dr. Christian, will you sell my house for me? The furniture and everything.
I'll attend to everything, Emily. Good luck and God bless you. And try not to think about it.
I shan't, really, I promise you. I shan't think of Don ever again after tonight. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, my dear.
Has Miss Cobb gone? I thought I heard somebody go out the back way. Dr. Christian is a man in the outer office, and he won't give his name, but he says he's come a long way to see you, and he's sure it'll be all right. What's the matter, Dr. Christian? Don't you feel well?
Oh, it's nothing, Judy. Only life gives us problems at times that are hard to solve. I was only hoping I'd given the right answer. Show the man in.
Will you come in, please?
Sit over here, won't you? You wanted to see me?
You don't know me, do you, Dr. Christian?
No, I don't believe I do.
10 years where I've been makes a lot of difference. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm Don Burns.
Don Burns? Don Burns?
Yeah.
Don Burns? Here? Tonight? Why, man alive, well, I'm glad to see you.
Surprised, too, I'll bet.
Yes, I am surprised. Well, why didn't you write or send a message?
I told you I wouldn't write again when I got on my feet. I had something to write about. But today was Valentine's Day, Doc. You remember about Valentine's Day?
Yes.
I got the feeling I just had to see the house once more. Thought I could walk past. Maybe get a look at Emily. The place is all shut up. Doesn't look lived in. Is Emily...
Emily? Emily left here several years ago.
Oh. How is she?
She's well.
Is she married?
Well, she...
Oh, stall, she is, I know. I don't expect her to go on waiting around for me. Is she happy?
I think so.
That's nice. Well, I guess I'll be running along. Glad to have seen you, Doc. Hey, you might be interested in this. I thought for a little bit that maybe I'd come back here and sort of start fresh having it. But I guess not now. I'd like you to see it, though.
What is it?
It's a confession from Hawley. You know, I always believed it was Sandy and was afraid to come back, but it was Hawley who shot Sims. Hawley got sent up for life a few months ago on another charge. I guess he thought he might as well clear me since it didn't cost him anything. Anyhow, he sent this to me by a pal. Said it had always been on his mind.
Why, Don, this proved you had nothing to do with it at all. That you weren't even there. Don, did Sandy ever...
No. Well, I never knew he was young, anyway.
Well, you must let me take this straight to Judge Hamlin.
Doesn't matter now. Emily's married.
You've always loved Emily, haven't you, Don?
I was never good enough for her, but yeah, I loved her. Guess I always will. I'll move on now, Doc.
Wait a minute, will you, Don? I've got some things I've got to see to, but I'd like to talk to you for a little while longer.
Okay, Doc, take your time. All the business I got can wait, I guess.
Just sit here and stretch your legs by the fire. You'll find plenty to read, and I'll be back as quick as I can.
What's the matter, Doctor? You look so queer.
I feel queer. Judy, I'm in an awful spot.
Oh, what's happened?
Don Burns. He's back.
Don Burns? That man in there is Don Burns?
Yes.
Oh.
Emily's over there in the house saying goodbye to her memory of him, so she can marry another man.
She doesn't know Don's back, huh?
She'll never know it. I don't tell her. He'll not stay unless I...
Dr. Christian, how awful. Their whole future depends on you.
You, tell me, if you were Emily Cobb, would you want to be told?
Yes, Dr. Christian, I'm sure if I were Emily, I'd want to be told. I'd want to make my own decision.
If only there was some way I could know what she'd want without actually telling her Don was here.
Oh, Don suffered so much. It doesn't seem fair.
I know, but 15 years is a long time. I'm going over to see Emily now, Judy.
Oh.
Wait. Don't let Don leave until I get back.
What are you going to do?
Judy, I don't know. Pray for a sign, I guess. Emily!
Oh, yes, Dr. Christian.
Oh, thank goodness you haven't gone.
No, I haven't gone. Come in. I'm not going, Dr. Christian.
What?
I've changed my mind. I'm not going back to Chicago. I'm not going to be married. I'm going to stay right here.
Why, Emily.
I've been thinking about it sitting here, the way I used to sit and wait for Don. And I know it wouldn't work. I couldn't be happy or make anyone else happy. I'd always be thinking of Valentine's Day 15 years ago.
You wanted to marry Don then, Emily. Are you sure you would want to marry him if he were here today?
I'd want to marry Don, always. I'm going to open the house, and I'm going to stay here, Dr. Christian. And if Don ever does come, I'll be waiting.
I guess that's my answer.
What do you mean?
You won't have to wait long, Emily.
Dr. Christian, don't...
I'm going to send someone over to see you.
Oh, I don't want to see anyone.
Oh, you'll want to see him. Emily, I'm a pretty old duffer to be playing Cupid, but
Dr. Christian, what is it? Have you... Not... Oh, you don't mean...
Yes, Emily. That's just what I mean.
Oh.
After all, what's 15 years? I don't see why you shouldn't be married on Valentine's Day. Just the way you planned.
And the curtain comes down on our Dr. Christian play, My True Valentine.
And there you have it, from February 14th, 1940, Dr. Christian on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Of course, we'll bring you a lot of those because a lot of you have really sent us some very nice correspondence saying that you enjoy Dr. Christian. So we'll bring you more of those as time permits. We'll also take you next to San Francisco, California, in the Wild West days, an episode of Have Gun Will Travel starring John-Dehner from February 14th, 1960. That'll be coming up next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if, like a lot of people, you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's a Christian healthcare sharing program. There are more than 400,000 members now, and they love it. In fact, MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to that of health insurance. And MediShare really is the gold standard when it comes to healthcare sharing. It's been around more than 25 years. Members have shared more than $4 billion of each other's medical bills. Plus, MediShare is for you. It has saved its members billions by advocating on their behalf. Best of all, the typical savings for a family is around $6,000 a year. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and you are invited to be part of it. Call now. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Have Gun Will Travel, John-Dehner starring as Paladin. This episode, a spin-off from the TV show that had already been around for a while, was broadcast originally February 14th, 1960.
You've asked me to kill you. I'm not an executioner, Lormer. I've been hired to take you back alive.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John-Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Yeah, who is it?
It's me, Mr. Paladin. Hey, boy.
Oh, come in.
Oh, very sorry to wake you so early, Mr. Paladin, but telegram come for you.
Yeah, well, they always come early after a late night. Let's see then.
Whoa, that was very late night you had last night.
Yes, it was.
Yes, no good to stay up until daybreak.
Sometimes it can be very interesting.
Oh, but you need sleep.
Well, it looks like I won't get any more sleep today. This telegram says the sheriff of Little Spring wants me there tonight.
Sheriff? Oh, you do something wrong in Little Spring?
No, hardly. I've never even been there. He wants to hire me for $3,000.
Oh, 3,000? Hey, you can make it?
Hey, boy, at those prices, I'd saddle an eagle to get there. As I got off the stage, the first thing I noticed about Little Spring was the saloon. More of a gambling casino than a saloon. It was the size of a city block, and it blared and blazed in the twilight. The town had the other things a California town is supposed to have: a general store, a livery stable, a sheriff's office, and a small church pushed off in the background. I'm sure no one heard the church chimes sound the hour against the din from the casino. The sheriff's office was empty, so I pushed my way into the saloon. Say, is the sheriff here?
What do you have?
No. Is the sheriff here?
Over there. Fat fellow, white mustache. At the table with those three men.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Excuse me, lady. Thank you. Sheriff Akers?
Yeah?
My name is Paladin.
Paladin? Well, glad you could make it. Let's go in the back room where we can hear ourselves talk.
Yeah, all right.
All right, in here.
Thank you.
According to what I hear, you're the best man I could have hired.
What do you want me to do, Sheriff?
I want you to find a Fred Lormer for me. He killed a man.
Well, you're a lawman. Why don't you go after him?
Oh, by this time, he's over the state line. If I wait for extradition, it'll take too long. I want him back here in Little Spring in 4 days.
4? Well, that's not much time.
I want him here in 4 days, and I want him alive.
You're asking a lot.
I'm paying a lot.
Well, why 4 days?
That's my business. You want the job?
All right, just give me time to think about it.
Listen, Paladin, you're the one man who can bring Lormer in, and I want him back to stand trial here.
Who'd he kill?
I don't think that makes any difference to you.
Well, right now it makes a difference in whether or not I go after him.
All right. Little Spring has a reform group headed by a man named Radford. Lormer killed Radford's son in this saloon Wednesday night. Then he stole the fastest horse in town and headed east. Everybody was either too drunk or too stupid to stop him, but they were all witnesses.
I see. Well, I'll let you know in a couple hours if I take the job.
You're a skeptical man, Paladin.
You can be sure of that, Sheriff. I talked to a dozen witnesses, and the stories were all the same. Radford's 20-year-old son had come into the saloon, and in a loud voice had branded gambling as evil and sinful. Lormer had been at one of the tables, and he shouted at the young man to leave. Radford refused. Lormer walked over to him. There was a slight scuffle, and then Lormer put a bullet through him. Young Radford was unarmed. Satisfied that Sheriff Akers had told me the truth, I accepted the job. In the morning, I bought a ticket for the next stage going east.
Ought to be here in another 10 minutes. Just make yourself to home on that bench over there.
I'll wait outside.
Well, have a good trip.
Thank you.
You, Mr. Paladin?
That's right.
I'm Jim Radford.
Mr. Radford?
Akers brought you down here to find Lormer, didn't he?
Yes.
You going to do it?
I'm going to try.
You'd be doing this town a great injustice. Don't bring him back, Mr. Paladin.
Well, Lormer did kill your son, didn't he?
Yes, but if you catch him, it won't bring my son back.
I've already accepted the job, Mr. Radford.
Mr. Paladin, I head a reform group in Little Spring. We've been fighting Akers for years. Now, there's going to be an election in 5 days. I'm running against Akers for sheriff. If you bring Lormer back and he hangs for the murder of my son before Election Day, Akers can point to the hanging and the people of this town will forget what went on before.
And Akers will be reelected?
Yes. You can see what kind of town he's running. But for the first time, the people have a chance to drive him and his crowd out of control and turn Little Spring into a decent community.
Well, that may be true, Mr. Radford, but I'm convinced that Lorimer is a murderer, and I intend to bring him back in 4 days, alive.
If you do, I'll kill him before Akers can get near him.
Now, Mr. Radford, that would be a foolish thing to do. Then you could be hanged for murder.
Nevertheless, the people would understand, and we'd have a clean town again. I'll be waiting for you when you come back.
I'll remember that, Mr. Radford.
February 14th, 1960, Have Gun Will Travel on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You know, I've told y'all how much my feet hurt from time to time, and I've also told you how much I enjoy getting to work, because right here under my desk I have a pair of my slippers. Mike Lindell's new invention with patented fill, the My Pillow fill that, he works in the pillow so well, comfort memory foam, patented impact gel, and it has an indoor-outdoor sole for all-day use. Right now, they are on sale. If you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, you will see My Pillow slippers at 50% off, but only for a limited time. Plus, you'll get Mike's softcover book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Use my promo code USA. Savings on overstock items too at mypillow.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater, the conclusion of Have Gun Will Travel, February 14th, 1960.
I followed Lorimer's trail to the Nevada line, and there I rented a horse. The open desert stretched before me, and I knew now that it would be more difficult to find him. The sun was at my back, and my shadow started to creep ahead of me when I saw a small house on the thin line where fertile land gave way to wasteland. There were 2 horses grazing on the tufts of grass between the rocks behind the house. There was a large, inviting well in front. I rode up to the watering trough.
Get away.
Huh?
Get away from here.
What? Put your rifle away, old man.
Get off my land, you hear?
Say, are both those horses yours?
I didn't move out here on the edge of this inferno to have a snooper come along and ask me questions. I told you to get off my land.
Well, I'm looking for a murderer.
I ain't seen no murderer.
You passed this way.
I ain't seen no murderer.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm going to search the desert, old man. I need water. You have a well.
All right, take your water. But my rifle will be on you till you leave.
I watered my horse and continued east into the desert for almost 10 miles. And then I saw him, silhouetted by the setting sun, a big man stumbling, weaving, before his weight carried him to the ground. I dug my heels into my horse and rode to where he had fallen. You make a big trail, Lorimer.
I'll put a bullet
Your running
in
is
you.
over. Now we go back. Give me that gun.
You.
I'll take that gun. You hear me?
Get your hands up.
You won't be needing it now.
I need water. My throat's on fire.
All right. Here.
Let me die here. A nice, clean death.
My job is to bring you back, Lorimer.
Sheriff Akers sent you, didn't he? Sheriff Akers will hang me when you bring me back to Little Spring.
You'll stand trial.
Yeah, I'll stand trial. And in less than 20 minutes, I'll have me swinging from the courthouse tree. And the whole town will get drunk and celebrate. And they'll re-elect Sheriff Akers 'cause he brought law and order to Little Spring.
Why did you kill young Radford?
He was a loudmouth preaching kid. Always shooting his mouth off in the saloon. It was bad for business. Akers had a big take from that saloon. He wanted him dead. He told me to kill him, and then he turned on me. But I fooled him. He won't use me anymore. Kill me here and get it over with.
Come on. I want to make that well before the sun burns the skin off our backs.
What well are you talking about?
That house about 10 miles back.
We both gonna ride one horse?
What happened to yours?
I shied at a rattler. He threw me.
Now, you're a big man, Lormer. My horse would never carry the both of us in the heat. All right, you ride and I'll lead him.
It's a hot walk.
I'll manage until we get to that house.
Let me sit down, Paladin. You want to go in the house, go ahead.
Hey, Lormer, when I was here before, there were 2 horses out back. Now there are 3. You changed horses here, and when the horse threw you in the desert, he came home. Is that right?
Leave me out here. I ain't got the strength to run away.
All right. I want to see that old man anyway. We need your horse back. Old man, I want to talk to you.
Paladin!
Lormer. Oh, no, you... Hey, Lormer, you... Oh, you fool. Why did you do that?
I was thirsty. The well was so close, I drank too fast.
You idiot.
Oh.
I've got to get you out of the sun now. Come on, try to stand up.
Oh.
Up you. Come on now. All right, easy does it. Easy. I'll get you into the house now. All right, come on. Hey, oh, easy. All right, come on now, here. You can lie down here. There. Now, just rest easy now.
You got a short memory. One warning wasn't enough, was it? You come back.
Take your rifle out of my back, old man.
You ain't felt the last of this rifle.
I've got a sick man here.
Is this your murderer?
Yes.
The horse came back this morning. I was expecting you, Fred Lormer.
I didn't want to come back, Uncle. He forced me.
Your uncle? Well, you denied you'd seen him before.
I told you I hadn't seen the murderer. I didn't know Fred was the murderer.
Let me go, Uncle. I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Old man, I've got to bring Lormer back for trial in Little Spring. He killed a man there.
Fred ain't going nowhere. He's not going to hang in some public place. I'm going to kill him and bury him out back of the house. And I'm going to kill you because you know him, you know his crime, and you know he's my nephew.
What makes you judge and jury?
I watched a lot of killing during the war. I watched brother kill brother. What made them judge and jury?
You're confusing peace with war, old man.
Are the men in Little Spring fit to sit in judgment on a Lormer? No. Only a Lormer can judge a Lormer. I renounce civilization, and with it, its laws. Here, I'm the law. Now you turn around, mister. Now, loosen your gun belt and drop it to the floor. Easy now, no tricks. Now, you get up, Fred Lormer.
I can't, Uncle. My stomach.
You will get up and walk. I'll not kill you inside my house. Now, get up. Now, walk. Both of you.
You give me the gun, old man.
No!
All right, old man. Shooting's over.
Give me back my rifle. Can't you see I only winged him? He ain't dead.
That's a good thing.
I've got to kill him.
There's not going to be any killing here.
No, take him back to the sheriff and let him hang. You are civilization, mister, and I hate you for it.
The fight was out of the old man. He sat in a corner of the front room while I bandaged Lormer's arm. He looked neither left nor right and said nothing. By his lack of movement, he seemed to deny our existence. As we moved away from the house, I saw him come out the door and stand on the front porch, a lonely figure. Lormer gave me no more trouble. I persuaded the stage driver to drop us off on the outskirts of Little Spring, and it was 10 o'clock at night when we got into town by way of a back street.
Why are you bringing me here?
This is Radford's house, isn't it?
Yeah, but I still don't...
Never mind, you'll see.
Mr. Paladin. Lormer.
Get inside.
I told you I'd kill him, Paladin.
Don't try it, Radford.
Why are you here?
You have some rope?
Yes?
Well, get it for me so I can tie Lormer up. Then I want you to go and get the sheriff.
The sheriff?
Radford, you had a reform group in this town. I hope you're interested enough in justice to do what I tell you. And bring the sheriff, and bring him alone.
All right.
And, Radford, tell him to have $3,000 with him.
Paladin, what's the meaning of this? Why did you bring Lormer here to Radford's house?
This is as good a place as any to pick up a murderer. All right, I've kept my part of the bargain, Sheriff. Lormer's back in Little Spring, alive and on time. Did you bring the money?
Yeah, here it is.
Thank you.
Now, we'll hold trial immediately. I'll call the judge. He'll open the court. All right, Lormer, let's go.
Now, just a minute. Didn't I hear you invite the sheriff to stay for the night, Mr. Radford?
What?
Of course you did. Sheriff, make yourself at home. We'll be here for the night and all day tomorrow. Well, it'll be an honor spending Election Day with the two leading candidates.
Oh, look here,
Of course, you'll have time to go out and vote about 5 minutes before the polls close. You don't feel spending Election Day with a murderer like Lormer will hurt you at the polls, do you, Sheriff Akers?
Why?
Pull down the shades, Mr. Radford, and lock the door.
Have Gun Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Paris and stars John Dehner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy and Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun Will Travel by Arthur Lewis. Featured in the cast were Jack Moyles, Vic Perrin, Ralph Moody, and Barney Phillips. This is Hugh Douglas inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun Will Travel.
From February 14th, 1960, Have Gun Will Travel on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You do know that you can get almost all of the Have Gun Will Travel shows through Ted at RadioMemories.com on CD, on cassette, or on flash drive. Go to RadioMemories.com, tell Ted I sent you by, and pick out the shows you like. RadioMemories.com. Please do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. And by the way, visit my webpage. It's at classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there as well. classicradio.stream. Plus, if you miss a day here on your favorite station, you do not have to miss a single show. Our shows are available now through YouTube, also through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That last little bit's very important now. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on your radio dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.